Hey guys, it's me Zane, and today I'm doing a little spotlight video for one of my Cattaleyas which is blooming right now. Okay, so the Cataleya which I'm talking about is this one. So first I'm gonna talk about it, and also what's more important for an ID video, I'm gonna show close-ups of the blooms and close-ups of the orchid as well. So this is my blooming Cataleya right here, and by the way this is my first ever Cataleya rebloom, and I'm just so happy that I finally rebloomed the Cataleya. Like, I don't know why every other orchid genre was like blooming for me except this one. So this is the Sophrolelio Cataleya, or I think it's rather just a like normal Cataleya with all these reclassifications. Little Hazel, and my variety is called, just one letter, it's called M. There is the red jewel, I think, and there are like these varieties, red jewel and stuff like that. But this variety is called just like that, M. Little Hazel M. So this is my tiny little miniature Cataleya, and I'm in love with the color. I've never seen a red which was this red. I mean, I've seen the Nelly Eiler red velvet, and well, it's known that it's pretty red compared to other Nelly Eilers. That was nothing to this one. This red is the reddest red I've ever seen. Right now I'm gonna bring you closer to this flower actually, and I'm gonna show you the flower, show you the plant, and I'm gonna talk about it. Okay, so this is my orchid, and well, as you can see, I have 2 blooms right now. I would have had like 3 blooms. As you can see, here is one point where there was a bud, and actually I showed you this orchid when it was in bud, and I will put the info card in the corner so you can watch that. I had 3 buds. There was some mutation going on with the 3rd flower, or actually the 3rd bud, so I thought it's gonna be mutated, but after a time it decided to wilt away and not even open. So the 3rd bud experienced bud blast, and I remained with these 2 buds which actually opened. But along the way, because yeah, why not to have bugs, and why not to ruin the flowers? Along the way that the buds were growing, I find some bugs crawling around on the buds and on the flower spike. Nowhere else but only the flower spike and the buds. And well, I removed them, but the damage was already done, so one flower is like this right now. Now look at that, there are spots all over the bloom, all over the petals and the sepals, and they are pretty bad. I mean, look at that, it's nasty. I don't like it. So yeah, this flower doesn't look too good, but well, hey, there was no harm done to this flower. I can assure you that this camera won't pick up that color, because this red is super saturated and it's super sparkly in like light. And I will try to show you with a flashlight pointing at the flower if it will have any effect, and it will show the sparkles. Oh yes, you can see how sparkly this flower actually is. As I'm moving the flashlight here, you can see how those sparkly particles are showing up on the sepals and the petals. Look at that, it's beautiful. It's really sparkly. And well, yeah, I don't know how are you with that, guys, but actually when we are talking about the orchid flowers, there are a lot of cases when the orchid flowers are hit by the sun from the back. So for example, it's mentioned a lot with those black flowers, how those look like when the light is hitting them from the back and they look kind of more red than black. Well, with this one, if the light's coming from the back, it doesn't really change its color. It's super red even from the black. So this flower is super red from all the angles, and I totally mean it. I would say that the lip is a little bit darker, and these petals are just a tiny little bit darker than the other three sepals, but it's not so much noticeable. The flower is not so big. If compared to my hand, it's this tiny. But this tiny bloom actually is not that tiny if we count in the size of the actual orchid, because just look at that. This orchid is really tiny. This is the biggest leaf. And the biggest leaf is this long, and the leaf on the pseudobulb, which is blooming right now, it's this tiny, and it won't be longer, well, because it's blooming, but still, this is a true miniature. And if you don't have too much space, but if you love super red, actually the reddest blooms, this is the way to go. The Sophrolelio Cataleya Little Hazel, and or the M or the Red Jewel variety, or these varieties, they are all beautiful. Personally, I think this is the reddest bloom I've ever seen, and I've seen quite a few red blooms like on orchid shows and orchid marketplaces and stuff like that, but this is the queen of all reds. This is the red queen. I should name this video something like that, the red queen Cataleya, or the Cataleya queen of reds, or something like that. I'm not sure about that right now. Let's talk about the flowers a little bit more. So as you can see, they are not too big, but compared to the size of the whole orchid, they are a pretty good size if you count that this is really just a miniature. And still I have it in a 6 centimeter pot with leca pebbles, and I can see a few more years keeping that in this pot, because it doesn't take up too much space. These flowers look like velvet. I really love them. But yeah, it's capable of producing more buds. As you can see, I had here 3 buds. I think it can produce even 5 on one spike, but I'm not sure about that. A little bit about the parentage of this orchid. I actually had to search for it on the internet. So the parents are the Sophrolelio Cataleya Hazel Boyd, and it was crossed with the Sophrolellia Psyche. So we can see that the Sophronidis parents are actually making a huge impact on the overall look of it. Well, yeah, it's a miniature. And also this orchid blooms not from a sheath. Well, yeah, there is a sheath, as you can see here. When the new growth is growing and the leaf opens up, you can already see the blooms actually, or actually the buds are being formed inside the pseudobulb. So yeah, there is the sheath, but they are actually growing out from that sheath when the leaf actually splits when it's growing. It has this little amount of yellow in it, but other than that, it's just super saturated red. Well, about the fragrance, it's not fragrant at all. Let's take a look at the orchid itself. As you can see, I have here some bifoliate pseudobulbs, but these pseudobulbs, which are the newer, well, they all had only one leaf, and I think it's because they wanted to bloom but they didn't bloom after that. And there's one thing, look at these really purple bulbs. I mean, that's ridiculously purple. There's so much purpleness going on that part that at one point I was afraid that there is something going on with them, something bad. Yeah, that seems like it's normal. I bought this orchid in February, and when I bought it, it was in bloom. But it was like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I'm not sure. And then faded away and started to produce new growth. And the new growth at that time was this one, and it matured like somewhere in winter, and it started to create a new growth like in spring or something. And the seasoning was the same with the next pseudobulb as well. Well, with this one, I don't know what happened and what changed. This one was super quick to actually mature, and it's only October and it's blooming. Because Cattaleas are not that super long lasting, so these flowers will fade away in a few weeks. I'm not sure if it will wait all winter long to produce a new growth only in the summer, or it will be creating a new growth already in the winter time, because with these 3 previous growths it looked like it's actually a seasonal bloomer, and it always wants to bloom in the spring, but right now it's autumn, so maybe I can get more blooms per year if it will be bigger, or I'm not sure what it's trying to do right now, but well, we'll see what's gonna happen in the future. I'm happy that I could rebloom this cattleya. I still have to experience how it goes with all the seasons and how seasonal bloomer it is. Okay, this hybrid is, I think it's not that rare. You can, if you search a little bit more, you will definitely find it in some nurseries. I won't say it's super famous, so you will be like finding it all over the place, and you will see this in all nurseries will have it, and you can find it that easily because it's not that famous to be that popular. But if you search for it, you will definitely find it in some nurseries because it's not that rare either. As I said, it's the perfect orchid if you have only a tiny space and if you have lots and lots of light, because well, it's a cattleya, it needs a lot of light. And also you like super red blooms, because these blooms are the reddest blooms I've ever seen in my life. And as you can see, it can be blooming size at a pretty young age, because I have here 1, 2, 3, 4 old bulbs, and after the 4th bulb, the next bulb was already blooming. I think there was one seedling bulb which I just pulled up because it was like dry and it was not even in the medium. So this is my video for today, and this is my cattleya for today. The Sophrolilio cattleya, little Hazel M, maybe it's just only a cattleya right now, I'm not sure about that. But this is my video for today, and if you liked it, well, click on the like button, leave a comment, and you can subscribe to my channel, and you can subscribe to my other channel, and don't forget to click on the bell button because you will get notifications if I upload a video, a gorgeous video with these gorgeous cattleyas and stuff like that. So, and also you can follow me on Instagram, and you will find all the links down in the info box. So this is my video for today. See you next time. Bye guys.